All right, hey y'all. It is April 2nd, and I'm waiting for some work to come in, so I figured I'd just try to bang this out while I have a hot minute of time. Um, Personally, not much happened today. You know, work, uh, food, cooking. I'm doing laundry, which is, great. Um, but aside from that, not a whole lot's going on. Uh, Nationally and internationally, some stuff happened today. Um, Sorry, one second. Let me just pull this up real quick. We have officially hit over 1 million cases worldwide. Um, and we are at just over 50,000 deaths worldwide and a little bit over 200,000 recoveries worldwide. For the US, we have about a quarter of a million of cases at the moment, to 236, 236,000. We have a little over 5,500 deaths, and right now a little over 8,800 recoveries. So, yeah, good news and bad news there. One of the good things that happened today is Spain. This is going to sound counterintuitive, but like I promise, it's actually a good thing. Spain recorded nearly 1,000 deaths. Well, to be fair, from the time difference, I'm not sure if that was like there today, but my yesterday, but whatever. Um, and that doesn't sound good. I know that doesn't sound good, but their overall their curve is starting to is peaked. They think, they hope. For the past couple days, the amount of reported new cases has gone down drastically. Now, the deaths is going to lag behind that a bit, so even as the number of cases goes down, because it takes a little while, or sometimes it's extremely quick, but theoretically it takes a little while for it to kill you. The number of deaths is still going to peak as the amount of reported cases is going down, but they should follow each other theoretically. So hopefully we'll see that go down in a couple days, or a little bit as well. Um, I mentioned the other day that it started to look like we kind of hope that things might slow down a little bit. Um, the Democratic Party, it is 2020, so it is an election year here in the US. Um, Hopefully, the election that gets Donald Trump out of office. We're going to hope. The Democratic Party, the nomination convention is going to be delayed until August, which means we're not going to have a Democratic candidate until at least August. I am now starting to get a little very worried that the election itself is going to be postponed, like the November presidential election. I'm seriously hoping we're just going to vote by mail. It's going to take a while longer, but ultimately it will be safer and better than to push the national election. Because my God, I can't handle him anymore. Can't do it. Honestly, it was actually a fantastic clip on Fox News yesterday. They were interviewing a doctor who highlighted that the US and South Korea had their first case on the same day. And South Korea had an insanely aggressive response and a very, very strong response, and kind of halted in its tracks. And they have not even 200 deaths there in the same amount of time that the US has now over 5,600, because we had an astoundingly weak and unaggressive response. I wonder whose fault that was. But yeah, another bit of good news today. Obviously, throughout this, there have been massive rushes to get a vaccine because, we need a vaccine. No humans are immune to this so far. Well, I mean, except for those who had it, but it's very new. And a bunch of places have said so far, oh, well, we have a vaccine. Oh, well, we're working on one. So, take this kind of with a grain of salt, but the University of Pittsburgh, which I'm a proud Panther, proud alum, has come up with a vaccine that's actually like a band-aid. Like it's a little patch that they say it's about the size of your finger, and you put it on, and it has a bunch of little needles, but they're not like needles. They're made of sugars and proteins. So they're not like metal. And you put it on. They said it almost has the same feeling as like the hard side of Velcro, if that makes sense to you. When you like, if you've ever like touched Velcro and know that feeling. Um, and it's been seen in mice to halt the virus, to the proteins in it. Now, I'm not in any type of way a doctor or anything in the medical field. I stay very, very far away from the medical field. I let the people who know what the hell they're doing talk about that. So this is just kind of what I gathered from the article. Um, but instead of like trying to create antibodies, I believe it puts proteins in you that react to the virus and are able to halt it. And actually, so coronavirus is a SARS, which I can't think of what that stands for at the moment, but a SARS virus, which there have been more in the US. This is not like the first one. This isn't brand new. Like, I mean, it's brand new, but not there. So Pitt is actually a huge vaccine development place. The vaccine for polio was developed by Jonas Salk at Pitt, and the vaccine department is huge. I actually, for 3 years, lived in the buildings across from the vaccine building, and I did slightly have a fear about like something like getting out into the air from that building and like killing me in my sleep, because it was across the street. That was just a kind of little fear I had. Anyway, so they have actually, since the last two major SARS outbreaks in America, which I want to say one was 2003 and maybe the other was 2009. Not 100% positive. You can Google that. They had been working on vaccines for SARS types viruses. Now, again, everyone's different. It's not like anyone knew, like, yes, in 2020, we will have another outbreak and it will be this kind of strain. So let's start prepping now. Like, unfortunately, no one could project that. But because they had been doing so much preliminary work, it laid the groundwork for this vaccine. So the thing is, we just got done with animal tests. And so now we have to proceed to human tests, and we can't just, you can't just give them a vaccine and be like, you good? You feel good? Like, you have to monitor them for a hot minute. You have to make sure the vaccine doesn't kill them for some other reason and doesn't have them start growing antenna, or you have to watch and see what the side effects are and see how it affects them in other aspects of their life besides this. So the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has relaxed some of their standards to get a vaccine done in hopes that it will help speed things up, which, I think is a plus and minus. On the one hand, it should theoretically get us a vaccine faster, which is great. The minus is that which standards are they skipping to do that? I would like to think that they are cutting down on the bureaucracy aspect of it, but I am a little worried about that. So that's something fun for the future. Anyway, so the Pitt vaccine team right now is in the midst of trying to get this through the FDA to human tests, which would typically take about a year or at least. We're trying to get it done in a matter of months instead, to try to get this out as fast as humanly possible. And it's entirely possible that they'll get to humans and see it doesn't work, or something of that nature. And that's why we go through these tests. Normally, if they had been just developing this anyway, it would probably take years and years to get through testing, and no one would be like, oh shit, we gotta get this now. because what's going on in the world, everyone's paying attention. So, you know, it might not work at all, but it's a nice thing to think about, nice thing to hold on hope for. Um, but I think that is about it for now. So, yeah, I'm going to cook dinner after. Well, I have to work a little bit more, but after I work, I'm going to cook dinner. And I also have a secret plan to clean my roommate's bedroom so that when she comes home, which she's not doing anytime soon, but like eventually when she comes home, um, hopefully there is. I mean, hopefully we get to that point. Uh, her room is all clean because I was talking to her yesterday and she was saying how she's really upset that she didn't think, because when she went home, she didn't think she'd be home for months or weeks. We're at weeks so far, so let's just stay at weeks until we get to months. Um, you know, she thought she'd be there for a weekend, maybe a couple days, so she didn't make her bed. And she's like, man, I hate the fact that when I get home through all this, my bed is going to be unmade. So I'm not only going to make her bed, I'm going to tidy up her room and probably wash her sheets and towels because I have to do a load anyway. But yeah, all right. I will talk to y'all later.